What's up, beautiful people? Tuning in today for the podcast. This is our first time doing this, so bear with us. I'm Spence Crosby, also known as Faisca. I'll get into that a little bit later. We also got
William Taylor, CEO of New Wave Coaching, personal trainer.
And Tyler's Wellness in the building, helping open-minded individuals make themselves a priority every day.
Hey, that sounds like a commercial, doesn't it, y'all? Like he's just like, man, makes you want to invest in something. Like, yeah, I can make myself a priority. I think I need to do that. But yeah, that's the guys on the podcast for today. Actually, it's gonna be us for majority of the time. We might have different people in and out, but to elaborate a little bit more on who we are, they did briefly. I'm a personal trainer / business owner / content creator, whatever you want to call it. I'm known on the social media world as Spence Crosby. Faisca is my capoeira name. That means spark, lightning. So that's the name that my instructor gave me, and I love capoeira. Will, man, tell us about you, man. Tell us a little bit more about you.
You got your boy William Taylor right here. New Wave Coaching, man. I'm a transformation coach. I've been into fitness for all my life pretty much, and I just want to share my passion with the world, help people get in shape, help people eat right, just high perform all around, high performance, get to the bag, get to the money, build your self-confidence, build your body, invest in yourself. So that's all it's about, man, teaching people how to surf the waves of life, man.
Hey, so, I like that. Surf the waves of life.
Surf the waves of life, man, like a surfer do. So
nice.
I'm gonna kick it to Tyler.
All right. Well, actually, I can kind of attest for that. Actually, being a high performance coach, there, he actually gave me a book that sparked everything for me. It was Think and Grow Rich, and now after learning the philosophies of that book, it allowed me to open my mind and help other people learn that they can literally make money doing things they love to do. And so that's how I can literally change the world with the knowledge from these books that we can learn from and internalize that knowledge and then create it in our own ways and make things happen for ourselves.
Nice. So we got two up and coming young entrepreneurs. All of us are young entrepreneurs, and we're visionaries. That's why we decided to do a podcast. And with this podcast, what's special about this one is the fact that this is like a tea podcast. I'm an avid tea drinker. These two are up and coming avid tea drinkers. Go ahead and taste the tea real quick I made. Go ahead, give it a taste, y'all.
This right here.
Yeah, go ahead, taste it. All right, before we do that, I forgot we set the intention.
Okay.
All right, so what I mean by setting the intention is it's like when people give toasts to drinks or whatever, like a special ceremony. That's what tea is. It used to be one of those popularized things in feudal Japan. I'm an avid historian of Oda Nobunaga, who was one of the first unifiers of Japan, and basically he used to have tea ceremonies and kind of talk about philosophy and different things. So I kind of want to bring that elaborate nature into our podcast. So set the intention, fellas. I think we should a successful and relaxed podcast for you guys to make sure y'all enjoy it and to definitely take away those gems that we're gonna drop into it. Because like I said, we're all visionaries and we're all bringing something new to the table. Guys, go ahead and taste the tea real quick. Let me know what you think.
It's a nice tea set here too, man.
Thank you. It's perfect temperature right now. Y'all taste that spice?
Ooh.
Oh,
yeah. So that's my turmeric and ginger blend. I put a little more pepper in there just because it helps with the absorption of turmeric. But
black pepper, right?
Black pepper, yes. Black pepper, yes. So
Nice.
I love to drink tea in the mornings just because it wakes my body up and whatnot.
It's a nice little spice. Man.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks. Definitely gonna wake you up. That's it's like almost like a substitute caffeine, but it doesn't give you that boost. But it's just kind of like, dang, this is spicy.
Yeah.
I like this.
It's almost like a shot.
It is exactly, and that's what I'm like. A lot of
healthy shot.
people when they see my tea set, they're like, man, this is small, and it's just they're not used to having a small teacups like this. So this is more like a proper etiquette, as I call it. And I'm a little bougie at times with my tea. So I did upgrade to tea leaves. I don't use the tea bags anymore. So shout out to myself for that because I love my tea leaves instead. It just makes it more authentic for me. I don't like the tea bags anymore. So I'm kind of bougie now. I still got my tea bags from time to time. But yeah, guys, I'm glad you like the tea.
I do like this a lot.
It makes it of more value in these small cups.
I know, right? Makes you appreciate the taste, the
I've actually
flavor.
got this big thing of tea and just
Yeah, you just go, you gotta actually sip on it, and feel free, guys, to go ahead and pour you some more.
Appreciate that.
Let's go ahead and talk about. Well, first off, it's a new year. It's 2021. It's new year, new you. As everyone's like way of life, I would say. New year, new me. But what I want to talk about today is shifting your mindset. Fellas, talk to me about shifting your mindset. Talk to me.
Shifting the mindset, man. The mindset is 80%, it's 90% mindset in everything you do. You know, I came to that realization just for me, kind of like through exercising, really, like getting back into shape and sports from high school. You know, it just kind of changed my mindset, made me think about things, made me value myself putting in that work to achieve a goal, and then being able to be prideful about that. And then the next task, I can, if I am having trouble, I can look back and look at my past accomplishments. So always staying in that frame of mind, always staying in that kind of like a growth mindset, looking to try new things. I feel like that was the key that changed everything, because that's what it was about, my mindset. First, my mindset started shifting, and then I started doing different things, started trying different things rather than doing the same things I was doing, and it allowed me to grow. So
now, talk to me about like you, Will, specifically.
okay.
How you really, when it started to shift your mindset, when did you start to see things beyond the scope of what you were taught? When did you start to see that? I know for me, it started like when I was in, around the time I was 19, 11 years ago, when I really started to see like, man, this is more than life than just working and just surviving.
Yeah.
You know, I started reading a lot more and all this stuff. But talk to me about when you started really shifting your mindset.
Okay. Well, growing up, you know, I was always kind of like a wise kid. You know, I had stayed with my pops, and he was like an older gentleman who took care of me and my brother, you know, my brother's dad. And just even growing up as a kid, I could kind of take from his wisdom, and he taught me a lot of wise things as a kid. You know, like I'm going into, there's this, like, say for example, salt fire or something in the kitchen, like a grease fire. I can go in there and pour salt on it. I know the salt's gonna put the fire out, and everybody's like, grown adults, like, how did you do that? Like, how did you know how to do that?
Nice,
you know, how'd you know how
yeah.
to, and it's just because just picking up those little tricks of the trade from an older man. He taught me a lot. And then when I was a kid growing up, I always wanted to be older. I couldn't wait till I was older.
I think that's like everyone.
Limitations,
yeah.
you know. I gotta walk to school,
Yeah.
and I gotta do the schoolwork they want me to do, and
Right.
so growing up, I kind of started growing out of that, kind of through two mentors, you know, and sports really helped with that, I feel, along the way. But even then, you know, get out of high school, you start doing crazy stuff, start partying, start doing the things that I couldn't do because I was so, you know, contained to parents and whatnot. And from there, shifting my mindset, I feel like I had got to a point in life where I was working full time. I was going to school part time, trying to do that. Had a girlfriend, you know, had a roommate,
man.
And it was just like, man, a lot, you know, these people, like, I didn't really understand the human dynamics. I had read a couple books, read like How to Win Friends, Influence People, maybe a year or so before that, but other than that, dealing in relationships with people was kind of new to me. So with his roommates and all this type of stuff, and dealing with different people's personalities. So reading one book that really kind of set things off for me. I remember I was like at the DHS office. I had some medical bills I was trying to pay off working and stuff, and this guy gave me a free book. It was called The Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. And that book, reading through that book, it was like the guy was explaining his relationships with his wife and maybe with friends or whatever, and it just kind of hit. It was like, man, I'm experiencing that same thing in my life right now. So from there, that kind of triggered and allowed me to see a lot clear, gave me clarity in that point in my life, and from there it really gave me a lot of clarity, and that book really helps. Yeah.
Nice. It's crazy how subconsciously we project the things that we want to like see, and we attract those people. Why we're all here together now. You know, we're visionaries, we're young entrepreneurs, and we're trying to break away from what our parents, what they did. I think that's very important, and the fact that that guy gave you a free book, that's always, when someone gives you a free book, that's like free information, so that way you can knowledge, so that way you can really invest into making yourself a priority, like Tyler said earlier. And I think that's very important, and it's good that you always was wise when you were younger and stuff, and realizing those differences and stuff, and drawing those lines and connecting the dots, and like, man, Like, life is not what people just tell me it is. It's much more. It's deeper than this. So Tyler, man, talk to me about shifting your mindset, which is like, I feel like seeing you on Instagram, man, I feel like I love your slogan, make yourself a priority. I think that's important, man. So talk to us about, shifting your mindset, man.
Man, honestly, that phrase right there was my big shift for me. I felt like before I was living my life always for other people,
Man.
And especially like childhood, it's like, you live life and you're told to do a certain thing and go down a certain path. And so I was doing everything I thought I was supposed to do. I was in school. I was always, I never got in trouble in school or anything. I actually had perfect attendance all through high school and everything. I was that guy. Yeah.
Man, I wanted to be.
I was almost like you, but yeah, you probably got me. Perfect attendance. Yeah, I was late a couple times.
Especially senior year.
Oh yeah. But yeah, man, go ahead.
Continue,
Yeah.
man.
So, always doing the things I thought I was supposed to do. I had went to college. I was also working multiple jobs, and at one point I was just like, I was in these jobs. I was in a sales position at a car sales job. I want to say the name, just in case. But
Yeah, I feel you.
yeah, so I was selling cars, and I was looking around me, and all the people around me were like 40, 50 plus years old, and they're like looking tired of life, like just
Sad.
This is every day.
Yeah.
Sad. Like, can't wait to just go home and do nothing.
Dude,
Like,
oh my gosh, dude, yes.
and I was just like, I need to get out of this world and see like what people my age are doing, because like this is all I know right now. I'm like literally just talking to old people
Right.
all day. And so I quit that job and went straight to a part-time job at Planet Fitness, where then I met Will and met a ton of other people, and then Will got me connected with you and Spence.
Yeah.
And it all started to shift everything. And the book Will introduced.
Seven Habits.
No, not Seven Habits.
How to
Think
Win
and Grow
Friends and
Rich.
Influence People.
Ah,
Think and Grow Rich.
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
say that
so-
book. Say that book again.
Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Okay.
And that book itself shifted my mindset to start seeing more opportunities every day that like were always available, but I wasn't taking them. Right? Just like hearing the stories of other people in the past, them taking opportunities that were presented to them showed me like, oh, I could do something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then it started shifting my mindset like, oh, make yourself a priority. You have the ability to do the thing.
Right.
Opportunities aren't given, they're created.
Man, gems, people, I'm telling you, gems. Go ahead.
Yeah, so you have to create your own opportunities, and the moment you shift to like thinking that you can do it, believe in yourself, the world, like there is no limit. The sky's not the limit.
Exactly.
That someone told you the sky's the limit and you believe them.
And I think the theme of everyone's life is definitely believing in yourself is key. A lot of people don't believe in themselves because not only because of what they've been taught from an early age, because society gives us those limitations. They subconsciously place it because they want us to have a worker's mentality. Like, you'll never be the next Steve Jobs or Bill Gates or the next professional athlete. The likelihood of that happening is slim. You're not even good enough. But once you start programming kids to really think that way, then their creative juices are just cut off from them. They don't believe in themselves. And I think making yourself a priority is essential, because a lot of times in life, we always try to please others because we look at them like, dang, I want them to be proud of us. And that's not how we should go through life. Make yourself a priority is key. Believing in yourself. As you heard from Will, like for him, he connected those dots and he said like, yo, this has to be deeper than what's given to me right now. And it's all about shifting your mindset. And with me, that's how it started. I didn't really start to really believe in myself until I was around 18 or 19. And growing up with a single parent, she did what she could that was best for us. And however, my stepdad played a huge role in me believing in myself. And I know for me, a lot of times in high school, I used to be like, oh, I can never be a really good athlete. But I had glimpses of that athletic ability where I was like, dang, I am good. And I had people tell me like, yo, you're really good. You just, what's up? Like, you just don't believe in yourself enough. I'm like, I didn't know how to answer it. But now that I'm older and much more mature, I'm like, yeah, I didn't believe in myself. But I think my mindset really shifted around 18 and 19. I started to believe more. And I always had that entrepreneurial mindset, such as you two. I know you guys have that same creative juices. It's like, yo, I don't want to work a 9 to 5. There's nothing wrong with working 9 to 5. Don't get me wrong. Like, you have to do what you have to do, but at the same time, that's why you have different strokes for different folks. 9 to 5 is, if it's perfect for you, if it fits your lifestyle, if that's what you want to do, that's all power to you. Just as a person wants to not do a 9 to 5, all power to them. But for us three on the podcast, we definitely always want to work for ourselves and create new avenues of money. And it started when I was around 2021 when I created RCXXP, which, by the way, my name is Robert Spencer Crosby. Yes, I have a senator's name. My teacher told me that in high school.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Robert Spencer Crosby. But Robert Extreme Exercise Program was something I created when I was 21. I was calling myself the mobile personal trainer. My first client was a lady from State Farm. And I would go to people's houses. I would go to like their gyms and their apartments, and I would train them. And that's what I already knew. Like, I always wanted to work for myself. I could probably count on both hands how many times I ever worked 40 hours in my life. I never liked working 40 hours in my life because it was just something that I didn't like. Never liked it. So seeing my mom work really hard, I didn't know how to really appreciate it until I got older and stuff like that. Like, that's what she was given, and she still managed to do it on her own. So shout out to my mom for that. But I just knew I want a different avenue. So with that, I want to talk about a little bit more, not only shifting your mindset, but what does it mean to really believe in yourself? What does that mean? Like, we could say that, like, believe in yourself, but what does that mean?
Man, you want to start with me?
Let me think on that.
Go ahead, take your time.
So, I'm going to say, everyone's going to have a different, spark for what that's going to be. Everyone has their own walls that they've put up through their life. This is something that I've said in the past, is you're kind of like a wizard. You have magic to, like, either create things, and you're creating walls, or you're creating opportunity.
Ooh, so, I like that, especially the walls, because keep going. I like that because that's what we do a lot.
Yeah, and so as we're going through, we're creating all these walls that we end up forgetting about, and then now as you turn around, you have to now create something to destroy those walls. You have to break them down and replace them with something else, bridges or whatever it is. So you believing in yourself is seeing, oh, I built all this stuff in the past. I was doing this. It was me, and I'm the person who can change it.
Right.
So, taking that action of saying, okay, I can do something, and like recognizing anywhere in any aspect of your life what you can do, that there's one step you can take to move you slightly towards that goal, no matter what it is.
Yes.
So
to even talk about that a little bit more. Telling yourself I can. That's something that. Quick little story. I always struggle with backflips because of the fear of, like, I'm gonna fall. Telling myself, like, yo, you're not gonna do this. But then you tell yourself, you get these mantras like, I'm gonna do this. What really helped me a lot too was anime, which we'll talk about that in another segment. But I love the trials and tribulations different anime characters go through because they believe, like, I can. And it might sound corny, but it really gives me my hype. Like, it just hypes me up. But anyways, telling myself I can do it when I did backflips. When I finally got it, I was like, you can do this. And I would tell myself constantly, I got it. And then it snaps. You just start doing it. And I think that's the essential element when it comes to believing in yourself. Telling yourself I can, because we hear a lot of I can'ts. And as a trainer and a business owner, I always tell my clients, like, yo, we don't say I can't here. I'd rather you cuss and say something else than I can't. That's the worst word or worst phrase I could ever hear anyone say, because I'm all about seeing that vision, manifesting those thoughts into reality, because we are co-creators of the highest source, whatever you want to call it. We can create in this 3D plane. And I think it's essential that we say we can.
Yeah. I can attest to believing in yourself. I remember when I was a kid, I wasn't always the confidence kid. I was kind of like the class clown, kind of dorky, wanted to fit in.
Yes.
Kind of got picked on, didn't get picked on, might pick on, so I remember one of the main shifts for me to start believing in myself was, I believe it was like maybe junior high school, we started lifting weights. And we would lift weights and, whether it's like running or whatever it was. I remember one day I had my boy Dre, we were lifting together, and had some heavy weights on the thing. I was doing an incline bench press. And then I almost got it up like I'm strong, it's heavy. And he's like, hey, come on, let's go. And he just starts hyping me up. And then he's just getting so hyped. And then boom, I just do it. And then he's like, yeah, woo, you strong as hell, bro. And I remember that, like, yeah, man, like, damn, it made me feel really accomplished and felt like I could do something. And from that day forward, even if I didn't have the belief in myself, I would kind of rent someone else's belief, or, you know, like, oh, you see other people who are saying, like, you can do this, or pay attention to what they're saying that you're good at, and just kind of go off of that and use that momentum to then start believing in myself, you know. And yeah, so I'd say that's a good place to start. I mean, just kind of, even now I kind of think back on my past successes whenever I'm about to do something that might be like stepping out of my comfort zone, like hopping on a podcast or doing some YouTube videos or whatever it is. I like to look back on my past and say, well, you did this in high school, or, you know, you graduated with this certification, or you ran through this race, or you stayed up all night and you worked on that English paper and you turned it in, and just kind of use those and kind of stack them up and say, yeah, you can do this, and hype myself up. You got to be your own hype man.
You do.
In our heads, we get in our heads a lot, and we start to say, like, oh, you can't do this, or you can't do that. But the thing is, you got to realize is there's people on the outside who are going to see your stuff, and they're going to be like, yeah, you can't do that, or you suck. So it's like, if you are inside of your head saying, oh, yeah, the same things that they're saying, it's never going to work. You're going to, like, fall down every time. You're going to beat yourself up. So you got to at least have your own back and say in your head, like, yo, I can't do this. I can't do this. Even if other people they're going to say, like, you suck or whatever it is. You have to believe in yourself because no one else will, you know.
And the quote that I live by a lot, it's a Chinese proverb. It says, those who said it cannot be done should not interrupt the ones that's doing it. And I love that quote because I've been living by that for a long time. And as Will said, too, it's just about being in high school, lifting weights, someone's boosting you up, and that's when your confidence starts to shine. I know when I was in school, a guy named, shout out to Zach Albrecht if he ever listens to this, but Zach Albrecht was like, yo, Rob, you're one of the fastest people on the track team but you died out so soon. And I was very explosive, so like you will, like explosive, boom, that burst. Right. And I always had glimpses of being like of me shining, but I never really believed in it because all my life I've been told you're too small. Really, you're just too small. I was a small kid in high school. I didn't really grow until I was like 16, 17. And at the time, I think I left high school at 5'9", 163. Now I'm like 5'11", 185. But I say that because a lot of times those walls are created not only by other people, but by ourselves. Because we start to project what they say into our subconscious. We're programming ourselves. We can't do something. And I think when I broke it before, it was around 18, 19, or 20 when I started to really break that. And in my later 20s, that's when I was like, the world is mine. The world is mine. I can do anything. I'm doing things at my age at 30 that a lot of people like, man, you're 30? Like, yeah, backflip is nothing. Back handspring, whatever. Like, I do it all because I always wanted to learn this as a kid. And I was exposed to a lot of things when I was later on in life. Because, once again, the single mom element, she's going to do what she can to protect her offspring. So it's just like, I'm going to hold you guys close versus letting you guys explore, which there's no fault in that. It's all about survival. And that's why I tell people that's younger, older than me, like, what do you want to do when you grow up? I don't care if you're 45. What do you want to do when you grow up? Stop putting limitations on yourself because you're a certain age, or you're this person couldn't do this, or you compare yourself to LeBron James. Like, everyone has their unique talents and abilities. And you have to realize that as soon as you can, don't even put a time frame on it. Just dive deep in yourself and explore who you are. And that's for me. I always want to explore my body, especially like the way when Bruce Lee had a book, I think it's called The Art of Manifesting the Human Body or something like that. And I was like, before I read that book, I wanted to write a book about that. And I was like, Bruce Lee already beat me to it. Dang it. But anyways, right. So when I was reading that book, I was like, I really want to express my body in so many different ways. I want to be insanely flexible, be able to do flips. And Capoeira really allowed that avenue for me. And really, that's where I felt at home. I felt confident because I'm like, not only am I connected to my ancestors, but I'm also, it's just art.
It is art.
You know, it's just art, and I love it. And it really gave me my confidence. And having a martial arts background besides capoeira, like in taekwondo and boxing and kickboxing, it really helped me on capoeira. But I think that's when I really started to believe in myself. My later 20s, when I was like, okay, we're in prime. Where's this prime time mode? Now is really time to take over. Now that I'll be 31 this year, Happy New Year again, once again, everybody. And I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to it. So we talked about the elements about believing in yourself, shifting your mindset, I think those are all very important, but I did want to talk about making yourself a priority, which probably we didn't really discuss this pre-podcast in terms of making yourself a priority, but I really like that because once again, people say that loosely, like, "Hey, I'm gonna do me this year." Are you really gonna do you this year? What does it mean to make yourself a priority? Because even though you might have kids, and you're like, man, my kids come first, but at the same time, you have to make sure you're also meeting your needs. So Tyler, talk to me about making yourself a priority.
Man, all right. Before we do this, I'm gonna jump right into this first part. You had talked and told people in there to start finding something that they're passionate about, right?
Yes.
And I want to start and say that's how you make yourself a priority. You
Woo.
try new things and you start exploring that. You find something that you're interested in and just keep building.
Yes.
And so that's the key is you continuously realize an idea. Whatever that idea is, you find that one thing, keep growing on it. It's like stacking Legos, right?
Yes.
Get started, you're like, oh man, I don't know what I'm gonna build. You just start, you got a foundation.
Yes.
It's like, oh, this looks kind of nice, and you start building on top of that. Next thing you know, you have a little house. Then you can keep building. You got a city. You just keep going. So same thing with making yourself a priority. You start with one thing. Do you want to better your health? Well, how are you gonna do it? Just starting with your food, starting with your exercise. What are you gonna do? And there's one thing. You can keep breaking it down into smaller steps that you can take, whether it be just getting up right now as you listen to this podcast and go for a walk. Whatever it is right now.
That's key.
Yeah, people like to
Yes.
overthink things.
We do.
People like to say,
Yes.
like, I have to get in shape and I need a trainer and I gotta have this diet. I gotta know about the diet and I gotta do this type of workout. All you gotta do is just start doing it.
Whew. What did Nike say?
It's so cliche, but
All right.
it provides. Just
Right.
just do something.
Yep.
Rather than you know what to do. You know that you can eat clean, eat
Yes.
healthier.
Right.
What's best food for you, and do exercise, physical exercise. Drink lots of water. So just start by drinking a glass of water. Start by walk around the block. Try to put it in your day every day. Maybe, first thing in the morning or after dinner. Maybe cleaning. Any type of exercise to get you up and active, and then it starts from there. Taking what you can learn piece by piece and just putting this puzzle piece together. That's all it is. Just giant puzzle piece.
I think another quote. I can't remember if this is once again I'm a Eastern historian
Eastern
here. I
philosophy.
love that
Right.
stuff. But anyways,
Same.
it says the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step.
One step.
And I love that one because he said it. Drinking a glass of water. People, when he says that, those are the minor battles that you have to just take pride in that. If you haven't drank a glass of water in, let's say, a week, right? And the next day you do a glass of water, relish that victory because that's essential because it's going to build the confidence. Once again, what Tyler said earlier, those Legos. You're taking that drink of water. For the first time you had a glass of water in a week. First time in a week you had a glass of water. That's another Lego compounded on another one. That's a victory for you. So relish those victories because those are important in building your self-esteem and your confidence.
Yeah, and I can honestly say confidence is built. I seen it. A clear example of it was I had bought a motorcycle. I buy this motorcycle. I didn't know how to ride motorcycles. I didn't know how to shift the gears and the brakes and whatnot. I had a moped, so I was kind of familiar. So I buy this motorcycle. Me and my boys out there kind of teaching me how to do it. I'm riding up the street. It's tough. The gears are failing out. I'm kind of getting it, kind of not getting it. When it's time for me to perform and there's traffic going and the bike stalls out. Now I'm stuck in traffic, So it would be tough, There's some days I look at it, I'd watch the YouTube videos worst accidents and see people all messed up, banged up, and then the next day I'm looking at my bike man, I don't want to ride the bike today, So I'm thinking man, maybe I made this huge mistake, maybe whatever, I can't do it. And then sometimes I get out there, I ride safe, unsure, and then it all changed once I took the riding course. In the riding course, they taught us exactly how to ride the motorcycles, exactly what to do, how to start it, the training and the hands-on practice. And after that, it was just a whole different game. It was just I'm driving this car. There's no worries now, versus I was so tense and tight. And I think that the only thing that changed was I had practiced more. So I can say that practice is the true key to confidence in anything. Is practicing. The more you practice it, the more confident you're going to get. And the more you're gonna believe in yourself. So
Yeah, and don't be afraid to fall. That's the biggest thing too. One of my capoeira instructors, Maestri Lubino. Shout out to him. Shout out to my main instructor, Talento, Tally, my Grand Rapids capoeira group, for really giving me a strong foundation, and really Tally for just, man, that guy really helped me out a lot. He continues to help me. I could see his belief in me. And then talking to Maestri Lubino, when we had our when we got ceremony, we call it Bachizado, and we get our cordal, which is that green cord I have on my wall right there. But anyways, Maestri Lubino said, I think Maestri Suasuna, who is our founder of our capoeira group, he said, if I recall, don't be afraid of the floor. And that really stuck with me, because it's like, when you flip, cartwheel, whatever you're doing, the floor is your friend. I think he said your floor is your friend. It was something along those lines, and it goes off what you were saying. We'll practice, practice, practice. You're gonna fall. If you're trying, you want to learn how to backflip, just be prepared. You know, you don't want to, but be prepared. If you fall, just get back up and do it again. I remember falling on my neck, and I'm like, man, no, this hurts. But it's just like, it hurt for 5 minutes, but you get up and you just go for it again, because it's like,
I'm not gonna do that again.
Right. Yeah, you're gonna make sure I'm gonna commit.
Time.
You know what I mean? And that's one of the things I take away from 50 Cent's book. Right now, I'm just drawing a blank with the name of it, but he talked about overcoming fear. Now, living your life in fear, I think that's very important. Overcoming those roadblocks. But once again, it's good to have those teachers around you. Like I said, with my capoeira teachers, even my parkour instructors, Tyler and Alex. Those guys really give me my confidence that I need. Even though I'm a confident guy and I train other people, hey, believe in yourself, be confident. People see me like, you're confident. But when I'm in student mode, like, I want my teachers to do what they continue to do. And that's believe in me, give me my tips. I love going to my main capoeira instructor, Tally, and like, yo, Tally, hey, look at this. And he gives me like a thumbs up, or he be like, sometimes I'll send him a message and be like, hey, man, go ahead and tell me what I need to do. Be hard on me. And he'd be like, all right, I'm about to be hard on you, extra hard. You didn't do this and that. And I'm just like, I love that, because it makes me want to get better. I'm a perfectionist when it comes to my skills. And so I think it's essential, like, you know, the theme of it is practice. Practice, practice, practice. And practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes the perfect individual in terms of what you're performing. I think you have to define what's perfect for you. You have to define, you have to make sure you have a good practice, because you don't want to practice the wrong things and then you're doing it like the wrong way the entire time, because you could hurt yourself.
Right.
So you got to make sure you have perfect practice. And those reps are essential. Constantly doing it over and over again, so you get better and better. So I think the gems that we dropped today, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Shifting your mindset is very important. Happy New Year too, once again, guys. I'm gonna say it again after that too. But guys, anything you guys want to mention about shifting your mindset? Anything else?
I can attest to what you said about practice, and I feel like it's important that you find an art. Find an art. It doesn't matter what it is necessarily. It can be surfing, you know. It can be taekwondo, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, kung fu. It can be art. If you're drawing something, if you're an artist, you know, practice your art. You know, it can be cooking. It can be multiple things. You know, language, whatever it is. Find something like that and practice it, and have a goal to work towards. I feel like that's why a lot of people are kind of lost in life, is because they don't have a goal that they're working towards. If you have something to chase and you know you're getting closer to it every day, it makes you feel good about it, you know. So find those arts, whatever it is that's passionate for you. You know, I can recall times when I had a full-time job and it was just like I didn't do anything else that day. I just went to work. It was just like, man, what is life, you know? Like, I didn't get anything from the day, but those days that I wake up and I go to the gym and maybe I do some new exercises and I come home and I cook a new recipe and I got some healthy food now, and then I go to work and then I come back and I can say, hey, today I didn't do a whole lot, but I made progress towards my ultimate goal, you know, and that makes you feel good and fulfilled about doing something. So doing that, practicing your art, whatever it is going to make you feel successful. Even if you're not there yet, you've succeeded in today, you know, and by winning the day. So
yes, and fulfillment is key. And like Will said, I'm gonna attest to that even more. Finding your art, There's another
Find
quote
your art.
that I used to work at when I used to work at the airport. I think it was from Kendall College, and he said, "You were born to create." And I was like, man,
Right.
ooh,
Whatever it is you get lost in.
you
know.
were born to create. Like, yes, we are creators, and right now we're creating a lot of elements of fear, rejection. We have all this trauma we're dealing with, and we got to do better to project confidence and connectedness, and most importantly, believing in oneself.
I'm gonna add a little to that too. Your current situation is not your permanent limitation.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Everything that you're in right now, you only know, because of the knowledge that you have. So
Yes.
you can seek extra knowledge, which is going to change your situation. And the moment you do that, whether this podcast gives you enough gems to like see something in a new way, or it gives you the opportunity to say, oh, I can change. Take this as an opportunity to just do a Google search. What do you want to change in your life right now? And take that as a step towards it. And let that search build your confidence.
I love that. I love that. Changing your situation. You can always change your situation, people. Always can. All this starts, what we said before, is taking that step. That glass of water. Eating healthy for that one meal. Cherish and relish those moments of victory because it's important in building who you are, your individuality. Guys, that is our podcast for today. Our first podcast of 2021. I'm glad we actually started it.
Yeah,
I know it was on the agenda
We
for
did
a
it.
couple weeks.
We
Yeah,
can do it.
I know.
You can do it too.
You can do it too. You can do it too. And look forward to hearing us every weekend. We're going to make this a priority because we want to help you guys get to those levels that we're currently at, and we're currently seeking other levels. We want you guys to do the same thing. Believe in yourself. You were born to create. Let those limitations go. Guys, great podcast. I'm going to go ahead and we're signing off. We'll see you guys next week.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.